This is the Spokane Soccer Show of sorts. I am your host, Benji Wade. Joining me to serve up only the best vibes about all things soccer in the fine city of Spokane, it's Wildland Co-op's Michael Townshend.
That's me.
Head brewer. Is that what you call yourself?
Brewer, head, janitor, whatever you want to call it.
All the things?
I do it all.
You have to wear a lot of hats, don't you?
Many
You're only wearing
hats,
one
yeah.
right now, though. Okay,
only
cheers.
one, the Spokane Soccer Show hat. Cheers.
Where is your Spokane Soccer Show hat?
On my head.
You're wearing it. Oh, you get, I didn't even notice that. You
Extra
get extra
points.
credit. All right,
Extra
here we go.
points.
We are drinking Las Chivas Mexican Lager for the first time. Here we go.
New release. Oh, I think it hits.
Oh, that's nice. That is
Perfect for summer.
Super nice. Okay, and fans of the podcast, fans of Wildland Co-op can now get this on tap at Flatstick. And we have cans. You can't see the can art in this video because
Cans coming soon. Yes.
my phone is recording this and my phone is very far away right now, and that's okay. We're gonna make it work, but the can art is sick.
Yeah.
Made by Vanessa.
Yeah,
Good
we
job,
got
Vanessa.
a little bit of, I can walk you through it.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of the goat theme from our beloved Spokane Garbage Goat, and I guess we affectionately call our soccer teams the goats as well. So
We do.
yeah,
So the backstory, if we're gonna do that, was 1 year ago. I didn't look at the date. I should have checked that before I came down here, but
well, it was 1 year plus a month.
1 year plus months. Was it in July?
It must have been somewhere around there.
I thought it was in June. You might be right. But it was rainy. It was when we played the Chivas under 23 team.
It would have been June.
I think it was June.
Well, and I know why.
Why?
Well, because right around the time we played the international friendly
Yeah.
against
Chivas.
Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Chivas.
CD Guadalajara for
CD Guadalajara.
the layperson.
My wife and I found out that we were expecting.
You went there. I wasn't going to say that's your story to tell.
Hey. And we decided that a fitting nickname would be Chivas.
Well, from I'd say probably when did we find out that this news was coming? July? Did we know by July?
Yeah, it was late June, July.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shiva immediately became the nickname
Yeah.
for the future child.
And
Yeah.
we decided to brew this beer in partnership with the Spokane Soccer Show to celebrate that kind of that fun international game that we played. We all got to enjoy.
Keep talking.
And
The microphone will still record because I'm going to go over here while you keep
perfect,
chatting.
yes.
We have our mics.
to celebrate that that wonderful thing, international cooperation through soccer.
Look at that. I'm a professional, folks. See that goat there?
Fully branded.
Look at that. Las Chivas Lager. Shout out. Available at Flatstick Pub. Soon available in cans at Wildlander. Is that yet?
Yeah, it'll be either this weekend or next weekend in cans, available at Wildland, at the Perry Street Market, Liberty Lake Farmers Market, and who knows, maybe I'll talk to the nice folks at Feast. They would like to have some cans available too.
We like to keep it in the family on the Spokane Soccer Show, so Feast World Kitchen will invariably have Las Chivas.
Until then.
One more cheers. Come on.
Cheers.
Let's go. Las Chivas.
Delicious, delicious.
Okay,
So-
wait. No, let's not move on yet.
was gonna
What
ask you a
makes a
question.
Mexican lager a Mexican lager?
Oh boy, that's a good question. The way I define it, and I'm sure beer nerds all over the world will disagree with me.
Slide into the comments.
on
And
this.
But actually us? Yeah.
I think a Mexican lager inherently needs to be smooth, lower alcohol, and easy drinking, and crisp and clear.
Okay. I think you've accomplished all that. 5.2% ABV. It's very, very easy
Yeah.
drinking. It's crisp. It's got a little bit of a fruit taste to it. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
What fruit would I be tasting? I'm almost tasting
the
a little
hop fruit, maybe.
the hop fruit, which is in the fruit family. It's
Yes, certainly. Yeah.
it has a slight citrus note to it. I would almost want to compare it to like something caught between like I'm a big fan of Fresh Squeezed, the IPA,
Yeah.
and like a Heffy almost. Is that dumb? Is that a dumb
No.
dumb brain?
I think you're picking the flavors you like out of those too, and
Okay.
applying them here, which is great.
I'm
and I think
projecting.
that's kind of what you want in a beer, is to remind you of these other things you like here and there. I think the big definer of what we call a Mexican lager is a heavy addition of Vienna malt.
Okay.
So that's a big part of the malt bill on this. About 50% Vienna malt, 25% just the Pilsner malt, base malt, and then 25% flaked corn.
Flaked corn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it helps give a little bit more fermentable sugar
Okay.
to it without adding a lot of body, which is what helps to keep it light. And it adds a little bit to the flavor.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb. I think people are going to find this beer, this collab beer between the Spokane Soccer Show and Wildland Co-op this year, a little more approachable. I think it's going to be a little bit more, hey, we don't recommend pounding beers unless you're at home and your keys are locked away in a safe somewhere, okay? But
Yes.
this is a very drinkable beer.
Very drinkable. Yeah, it's meant to be that way. It's a good soccer-loving beer.
It is a good soccer-loving beer. And tonight we're here to somewhat soothe our aching spirits because our dear, beloved Zephyr FC season is over.
But what an awesome season it was.
But what an awesome season it was.
I was there on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think everyone wanted a win, wanted a W. I know the team wanted a W.
Yes, they did.
But we also have to remember that a draw still points, and it was after the culmination of an incredible second half of the season.
Amazing. 3,600 people showed up, which is the best attendance we've had in 2025 so far. And from what I've been told by the club, there were a lot of new people, which is exactly what you want. So I talked at the beginning of the discussion around Zephyr FC that what I would consider a success in year one would be not just improvement of the team, but improvement of the league itself and improvement of the other clubs to some extent too, because this is a player positive podcast, and when it comes to the women's game, I think it's going to be rising tide, all ships, regardless of the league, honestly, and I think all those things happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't think of more improvement than having 2 wins last fall and then having 9 wins in the spring.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Zephyr FC, shout out Alex from 509 Syndicate. He posted a graphic that showed that the most informed team in the spring was officially Zephyr FC with 30 points.
Yeah.
They had, and which is, I believe, 9 wins and 3 draws and then 2 losses, okay?
Yeah.
2 losses to
That's right.
Carolina. Yeah, I think I got that math exactly right. Next was Carolina and, I think Carolina and, who am I thinking of? Tampa Bay had 27 points in the spring. So they were right there in the thick of it with the best teams, and I think that's going to be my biggest regret that we didn't make the playoffs is, honestly, this team had more than a chance at winning back-to-back games and taking everything.
I think that is the hard part. Is just you don't get the opportunity. You never know what you don't know, and but it was still really fun to follow, and I'm excited for what, August.
Yeah.
August?
We don't play a home game
Whoa.
until September 6th.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Shoot, I forgot who we're hosting. But yeah, we don't play our first game until September 6th, which is kind of a bummer, at one stadium. But yeah, there will be at least 2, maybe 3 games in August. Anyway, I want to paint a picture of what happened on Saturday, though, because it was absolutely wild. I couldn't attend the very beginning of the game, but I only missed like 15 minutes. But here's the 15 minutes I missed. I'm on my way from the auditorium in Gonzaga's campus where they're performing, right? I pull up to the intersection of Boone and Washington, and I'm like, I'm practically there. I'm good. I didn't miss very much. It was minute 6, I think, when I looked down at Foot Mob. As I'm parking my freaking car, I hear 7 Nation Army, and I'm like, sick! We scored a freaking goal. This is going to be the best night ever. And I looked down at Foot Mob, and it says it's 1-1.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did that happen? Were you there yet?
We were, my wife and I were nursing the baby. I wasn't doing anything. I was standing there.
You were nursing
she was
the
nursing
Shiva.
the baby
Shiva,
in the car.
Shiva
and
needs
I
to be
was
fed.
looking at Foot Mom because I'm a nerd. I've inherited this gene.
Sickness,
It's
yes.
sickness,
Yeah.
it's bad. But, yeah. I saw a score, 1-0, and then I was like, hold on, that can't be right. And then I went to refresh it, and then it was 1-1. I was like, hold on, Foot Mob's glitching out. Something's wrong here. So, but You could barely hear it from the stands where we parked, and that's good. We had to park far away. There was a lot of people there, so.
The crazy thing is that is so early in the game, and especially when there's 3,600 people, people are queued up getting some food, a beverage, whatever. I ran into a friend, Katie Sheehan, shout out Katie. Katie's like, this is awesome. I was telling her like, oh, it's kind of a bummer, we're gonna need, we have to win this game. And she goes, well, at least we're winning. And I looked at Katie, I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, it's 1-0. And I was like, so she only heard the goal that was scored by Zephyr. She had not even seen the goal scored by Fort Lauderdale because it happened so early. Oh my gosh. I do want to talk a little bit about the other kind of things that went sideways for us. There were so many different configurations math-wise of how Zephyr could have gotten through. One was we needed any damn result from Carolina versus Dallas. And we needed Dallas to either draw or we needed them to lose, right? Yeah. Either one, we would have gotten through automatically. The game against Fort Lauderdale wouldn't have mattered. And it's a funny thing where I don't think a lot of people followed this super closely, so I'll just reiterate some of these weird intricacies of the USL Super League. They handle tiebreaker scenarios first by head-to-head.
Yeah.
That benefited us when it came to Dallas. So Dallas, the reason why they would have failed to make the playoffs if they had tied is because they would have been tied on points with us. And even though they had more goal differential, they had a better goal differential, we beat them head-to-head.
Yeah.
So that weird kink in the rules actually helped us versus Dallas. It would not help us versus Fort Lauderdale because we did have the advantage on Fort Lauderdale in goal differential, but they were ahead of us in head-to-head.
Yeah.
So
because we played them first game of our season at home and had a 1-1 result.
We played them 4 times. We drew twice and lost twice.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, super crazy.
So I got to ask on that, for the players, they go in at halftime.
Yeah.
They know, I think Dallas wrapped up in the first half.
Both teams knew. I'm glad you're going there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the goals really quickly. I just watched them, not going to lie. It's been a minute. I'm now emotionally ready to actually talk about the game, even though I definitely was not yesterday. I took off all of yesterday from even thinking about it as much as I could. Wasn't easy. Still, it's not like I wasn't upset at anything in particular because the team played so hard all spring and even in this game, and they got a draw out of the game.
Yeah, I think
and they were the best team on the day. But because of that, the thing that you're describing is the Dallas and Carolina game had been over by halftime. Mm-hmm. So both clubs knew going in that a draw was Fort Lauderdale's like, we're good.
Yeah, that's park it.
So I finally watched the goals. Minute 7, 8, Shania Gordon takes down a long diagonal pinged cross. It takes like one touch off of the turf, and Haley Thomas gets into position. She's locked up 1v1. I see Sarah Clark is shading to like take off if Shania Gordon cuts in on her left foot or if she goes for a cross. It's just one of those moments where Shania Gordon gets, and she's a really talented player. She gets exactly enough space to where she takes a really low probability, low XG. She takes a chance. And it just, I swear the wind had to help it a little bit too, because the wind was nasty.
The wind was crazy at the beginning of the game. I think it was crazy the whole time.
It was crazy the whole time, but it was the type of thing where she kind of went for placement, far post. If I'm being honest, I'm like, did she think there was going to be a runner back post? It kind of looked like a cross. It looked, it was so much like Roman Metanir's goal, the first ever goal scored at one stadium for Velocity against Richmond last year. It actually hit the far post and goes in off of the post.
I still haven't seen it, admittedly.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is the goal did you see the goal that Allie Cook scored?
No, I also didn't see that.
Oh, okay. So this kind of came from nothing. It was, I think AB is making a run down the right. She plays in Emma Jaskaniec, who gets in behind the midfielders for Fort Lauderdale. And Emma actually takes a really good touch and it's a slight square. She drags it back a little bit for Allie Cook, and I think Allie Cook is in a place where you're thinking she's going to do what she classically does. She has 2 defenders marking her, and she's got her back to goal, and you think she's probably just going to lay it off or try to link up with somebody. No, she actually turns very quickly off of a single touch. The defender that's marking her, it's similar to the Shania Gordon. She just has the narrowest of channels to take a shot. The other defender kind of cheated to take away the far post, but cheated too much. The goalkeeper, admittedly, I looked at this a few times. I'm like, the goalkeeper has regrets. The goalkeeper is literally hugging the near post. And I think in an instant, a striker can see that space, far post. And she actually, her finish was really well taken, and it was also probably 3 feet inside the post. So, remarkable goal. Unfortunately, after that, they go into half, like you were saying, Michael, and Fort Lauderdale knows, Tyrone Mears, their manager, is like, we've got it. We're going to go into a low block the entire second half. We're going to force them to score a goal and see if they can, or at least force them to, generate good chances. And we really didn't. We had a couple half chances.
Yeah.
Amina was very clever in God, what was it? 36, actually. It was actually before the first half was over. She kind of faked like she was going to go far post like Ali did, but instead went for kind of a knuckleball near post. The keeper just managed to parry it. I think I was standing right next to you when that happened, and I watched it again on the replay. It was really well struck. She went for placement right inside the post and had it, and the keeper just kind of barely got a glove on it and parried it and was able to collect. But Amina, late in the game, had another shot.
It's a hard thing. I don't know how you get into the mindset at half when you're like, so much rides on this.
Yeah.
To get a goal. It's not just stop a goal like Fort Lauderdale is doing, but you got to get one. And I think that's just I give them a lot of credit for doing what they do, because I have a hard time putting that into perspective.
And it's such a thing where every chance that doesn't end up in the back of the net, you just start to count them in your head, and you're like, is this just not going to be our day? And it started to feel like that probably by minute 80, and I was standing next to Kenzie Weinert's parents, and I'm then asking myself, I've got to find some type of emotional change of the channel before going down on the pitch and chatting with the players and Coach Joe and the last game and the last game of the season. This is the last iteration of Zephyr FC in the current iteration that we're going to see. That started to play into my head of a lot of these players I won't get to see play again, because who knows what kind of turnover there will be. I think we're going to find out in the next couple of weeks, but all this happens in an instant. I'm getting my mics ready and I'm just going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I decided, I decided even before going down to the pitch that I wasn't going to ask questions about the game. That it didn't seem like it mattered. It was the last game that Joe Johnson's going to coach with the team. It was the last game for the season until the fall, and like I said, the players, who knows who's going to be back. So I wanted to ask a couple things that just are about reflecting on. I wanted every one of those players, all 26 of them, to feel that this was basically like a bonus playoff game.
Yeah.
Right?
You described that to me when we were there, and it made a lot of sense thinking about, they're playing a team that's, it was pretty neat to see. I mean, to even be, I think, when you look back at the fall and you say where we were in the spring, to be in playoff contention at all was just
remarkable.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, what a huge thing for Spokane, Spokane team.
I'm getting the feels back.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in Flat Stick,
stop it.
I'm remembering that unforgettable experience in the Flat Stick. What's it called? South Lake Union. Is that the name of the area in Seattle?
Yeah.
Of watching Ali Cook's 2-1 winner in the 93rd minute against Tampa Bay. That I feel like, in addition to the goal that Amina mentioned on the podcast that she scored against DC, that knuckled free kick in the Hale game against DC, I feel like those two goals were just everything that kind of symbolized what happened in the spring. And it's interesting because on the podcast there was this kind of joke made by Amina that she was telling all her teammates, we're going to complete the greatest comeback in USL Super League history. And I couldn't quite tell because she deadpanned this line so much when she delivered it. I was like, you mean in history, like one year? And she was like, yeah, that was kind of the joke. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little slow on the upshot here. But I said that to her in the post-game conference. I said, press conference, I said, this team just completed the greatest comeback in USL Super League history, which is still true.
Yeah.
It fell short of the playoffs.
The form was there. I mean,
but it's still true.
Yeah.
Going from bottom of the table to third place at one point and having the most points in the spring, that is probably a quote-unquote record that will stand for a long time. I mean, that's a very unusual thing to happen. So shout out Zephyr FC. I treated that game like almost like a playoff. Yeah. Like they almost kind of did make the playoffs. They got to play their final home game against their support, or against an opponent in front of their supporters. That was really cool. We didn't get to do that with Velocity.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Their game ended, of course, it was in a championship game in Omaha, but we didn't get to see them once they made the playoffs because we didn't get to host any games. So it almost felt like we got a dress rehearsal at hosting a playoff game. That was very much a playoff game atmosphere. Anyway, I'm rambling.
Well, it was a lot of fun, and I think the joy that both the teams, but I feel it. I don't want to say more, but I feel it differently with Zephyr. That like my crew that likes to go to the games together, just they really get behind this team, and it's just super cool. So I've really enjoyed it. I look forward to the late summer.
I can't wait.
Some more of it.
There's going to be, I think if there's anything that I want listeners to think about and to, while you're reflecting on this first iteration of Zephyr FC and how much we appreciate what they've done in, for the city, for the supporters, for themselves, for their careers, for everything, that there will be a lot to look forward to when they come back in the fall.
Yeah.
So there will be new players, and I will wish the best of luck, of course, just like we talked about with Velocity when some of those players, our favorite players from that first year's team, didn't come back. It's just the nature of the sport. It's the nature of any professional sport that there's turnover. So, and there will be change, but it will never fail to be something that you can get emotionally invested in and feel good about. It's the best version of emotional investment in sports that I've ever made in my life.
Oh yeah.
Nothing comes close. I mean, any team that doesn't play in the city that you live in, it just has to, by comparison, not hit quite as hard. I mean, it'd be one thing if I grew up in a city where there was professional sports and then moved. But
that wasn't in Alaska for you?
Yeah, exactly. And believe it or not, in Alaska and then Montana, I did not get to support professional sports. That's shocking, I realize, but yeah. So this is professional sports, the only time in my life that I've been able to do that in a city that I live in. So shout out Zephyr FC. Thank you for Las Chivas Lager, Michael.
Yes, I'm so excited to have it out there.
Wait.
And enjoy it.
Before I press stop on this video that we're recording here, we're at Flatstick for League Night.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And what are we getting ourselves into? Because this is hilarious.
Yes, so we're like the beer partner tonight for the Duffelboard League Night. And
just Duffelboard?
Well,
not mini golf?
I'm not sure I know what Duffelboard is.
It is trademarked Flatstick invention, and it's where it's basically like a combination of golf and shuffleboard.
Oh.
It's hilarious.
It's like the best of both things.
Oh, yeah. You basically have a putter, and you push a golf ball, but it's got a kind of a shuffleboard vibe to it because then it pings around.
Oh,
almost
so it's like tabletop mini golf.
Tabletop mini golf with a putter. It's
okay. I'm in.
It's hilarious and it's super addictive. Like if I was coming down here just to kill an hour, I would do Duffelboard. Or they have a dart, an electronic dartboard over there that has a soccer game on it that is super sick.
Okay.
So someday we're gonna come down there. We're gonna drink a bunch of these.
Yeah.
And have somebody Uber us or drive us home.
Yes. So we're at Flatstick, the beer partner tonight, releasing our Las Chivas Lager.
Let's go.
And excited to be here. Excited for what's to come.
Well,
excited to be with you, Benji.
I'm excited to be with you. And I heard a rumor that Marley Canales and Emma Jaskaniec, I have a league team?
Go figure.
With Kyle and Peyton, their partners respectively. That's amazing.
Yes.
So we're going to run into them tonight.
Excited.
And they don't even know that we're going to be here. And we get to dispense raffle tickets that will help them win swag, including Spokane Soccer Show hats, which you're hiding with your sunglasses right now. Product placement.
Beautiful, beautiful hats. So.
All right, are we done with this
Very
thing?
excited.
Okay.
Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
having me. Thank you for
Hey.
the collabing.
Thanks for letting me inflict the sickness of soccer addiction on you, you know?
Yes.
Because I know you liked the sport and played it a lot as a kid, but I didn't ever expect you to be like, hey, I've been listening to your podcast.
Well, and if being family wasn't enough,
Yeah,
you did inflict me with this sickness.
I know, I'm sorry.
And this year, I'll say, I followed the Premier League. I didn't watch a game, but I followed it.
Okay, this is
and
true.
I kept tabs.
You were
It is
giving me a harder
super
time.
nerd.
You were giving me a harder time about Newcastle. You knew sometimes what was happening about Newcastle before I did. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, okay. Yes, I'm aware we are shitting the bed right now and we're on the verge of not making the Champions League. Thank you very much. But also thank you very much,
they did it.
Manchester
They
United.
did it.
All right,
Yeah.
cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, Michael. Let's
Thank
go
you,
grab
Benji.
another one of these. And hey, this is going to be released as a podcast. I'm just going to throw this on the feed because why not?
Why not?
We recorded for 15 minutes. I think it qualifies.
It qualifies. It can be one of those like bonus extra content things.
It's a bonus episode that's
Yeah.
free. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. And
Thank you.
we'll chat soon. I think the next podcast will probably be focused on there's a game on the 11th here, Pride Night. We are hosting, Velocity FC's hosting, oh God, AV Alta? No, we are playing against AV Alta on the road, and then we come back and host Charlotte Independence on the 11th.
Wow.
Okay, we'll see you there.
Mine like a steel trap. It's incredible.
Okay, I love you.
Bye.